Hello and welcome back to Making It with Moraes. Today we are going to change gears and I'm going to make a beautiful wedding cake.
So you see what happens here is there's this person over here behind the camera that's asking questions because we don't believe in a scripted show. None of this is scripted, but they do ask us questions and we answer questions, and yeah, I guess, they come from the audience. They get to the website and people are wanting to know other things. I guess kind of I'm sorry, am I boring you?
Of course, I'm going to have Dr. Berry to help me, right, doctor? And I have to tell you, some people around here, and I will cut my throat, but I won't tell who, were very reticent about my ability to accomplish the task of building this.
Well, we haven't accomplished it yet, but I'm going to be supportive, and the bride wants to look beautiful, okay? Period. And she wants her cake to look beautiful, and we're going to leave it at that.
Okay. So, in this book, the title is Colette's Cakes, The Art of Cake Decorating.
And actually, you sent her an email.
Yeah,
but she responded right away.
Exactly. So
she was very nice.
I saw this.
Actually, to get approval to use your book.
I saw the cover and I thought that was so pretty, this cake, and I said, well, I'm going to buy and I'm going to make the cake. And it's been 15 years ago, and so I finally am going to do it.
The poor people in the wedding talk about a bad omen. Here's your cake.
Something funny.
Well, first of all, the recipe should lay out, it should say, this cake is going to take you 4 days to make. Here's what to do on day 1 after you've done all your shopping, because you've been back and forth to stores, you had to buy cake pans, because this is not Cake Boss here, people. He has never made one of these before. He's made some little, actually, I hate to say it. Okay, so I won't. No, go ahead.
So we have to actually cook a few 6 cakes, 6 yellow cakes, and I have a recipe here that that I downloaded from the internet. And I need for the cake 3 cups of sifted cake flour, please.
Okay, I'll be right there. He made a pineapple upside down cake once, and that failed. So this is, we're going to pray that this can somehow come together over these next 2 days. But
2 eggs, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and 1 1/4 cup of milk.
So did you get all those ingredients properly there? So now you were going to buy regular flour too.
But I didn't. I bought cake flour.
Why?
Because it's better.
You decided now to buy cake flour?
Yes.
Because just the other day he goes, it doesn't matter, buy whatever flour that's there. And that's not true. You see, the regular flour that you buy, not the all-purpose, but just regular flour that you buy at the store, has a higher protein content. That's the stuff you want to make bread with. The protein content in that flour is about 10 to 14%.
Really?
So when you break an egg and put it in a pan?
So you did your research.
I'm a doctor. I know these things.
A doctor knows about flour.
I know about protein structure and biochemistry. You see what happens when you have your basic sciences? So if I can continue. So when you fry an egg, you put it into the pan, What happens to the egg white? It turns hard, it congeals, because the heat takes the protein and makes it into strands and congeals it. Okay. The same thing happens with bread, flour, with, you pour the water into the flour and it causes the protein structures to congeal, and you bake it, and that's what makes your bread chewy, is the protein content, 10 to 14%. Now cake flour has a much lower protein content, which doesn't have as much protein to bind together and congeal, which gives you that soft, tender, what?
No, I'm listening.
So it's not chewy. You don't want a chewy cake.
So you can prepare.
And your all-purpose flour is kind of a cross between a cake flour and a bread flour. So the bread flour gives you that crunchy chewiness. The cake flour gives you that texture of creamy and buttery.
The internet's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and so are basic sciences. I know you wouldn't know about that, but it's besides math and physics, I had organic chemistry and general chemistry and biochemistry. Mm-hmm. All those things are required.
And cake flour classes.
And protein structure, which happens to work with cake flour and bread flour versus all-purpose.
I see.
Now, there's other things to know about flours, but I didn't study flours specifically.
Also, I found out that the cake flour makes the cake bake, evenly, instead of being like
flatter.
Yeah, flatter. So we'll see.
Here we have Pillsbury.
So that I make my point.
Pillsbury.
So we need 3 cups of
We
sifted
have Pillsbury soft
cake flour.
Cake flour. But he's never made a cake like this before, I'm telling you. And I've tried to talk him out of it, but there's no talking to them. Foreigners.
Foreigners? What are you talking about, foreigners?
Excuse me? How much cake flour did you want?
Bring me a box.
Just one box?
Yes.
Lights just go out.
Today. And the baking powder. And the vanilla.
And the vanilla?
And the sugar.
Yes, sir, master. And of course, we're back to our old favorite C&H. And I have to tell you, don't worry about it, it didn't spill.
2/3 of a cup of butter. Just set it anywhere you want. So preheat over to 350.
Really? How unusual for you to preheat the oven so soon. I hate this oven.
I think we have to add the other grill or...
I hate this oven, I hate this oven, I hate this oven. And it's a D-A-R. I wouldn't use it.
Hate is not a family
We
value.
need to rip all this out and put new in.
Okay, I'll open it. 3 cups of
How come
sifted...
you haven't softened your butter?
No, it doesn't say softened
Well, it
butter.
should say softened butter. Where's this recipe coming from?
From Wilton.
Wilton? Wilton? Wilton from Wilton. Oh, look at these cake pans.
I know, and
These are all new.
They're all new.
Look at that. Where did you get these?
Online.
Online from where?
Amazon.com.
These are the Magic Line from Gardenia.
Yeah, Magic Line. That's
from
correct.
Gardena, California. Well, that's where Disneyland is.
Gardenia?
Yeah, almost. So does it say what I'm supposed to grease these with? How about some Crisco? Crisco comes in handy for everything.
Butter?
You don't want Crisco? You want them all greased?
Yes.
Okay, well, I need gloves. Are you softening your butter?
Yes, I am softening the butter.
I think it's a great idea, even though your recipe doesn't say so. Well, this is as hard as a rock.
Well, we make the cake and then we are going to make the bowls.
The who?
The bowl for the...
What bulb?
Bowl, like...
Oh, the bows.
Uh-huh.
The bows. I thought, okay. It's my fault, this one. It's not your accent. It's me.
I know.
I was born and raised in this country and speak fluent English, of course, and I have 4 degrees, but it has to be me. It has nothing to do with his accent.
What? Don't expect anything.
No, don't expect. No expectations, no disappointments. I'm greasing the pans.
I'm softening the butter.
Now, your butter in that, you should never microwave anything, people. a microwave is a lousy way to try to cook.
Oh, actually it says line with parchment paper. In addition, but you have to put the butter first. You butter it, and then you put the parchment paper, and then it's easier to actually lift off the pan later on.
Why didn't I could have just sprayed this with our cooking spray. Spray each pan with Pam to avoid messy cleanup.
Oh.
Although it's not a call to action. I don't care if you buy Pam or not. Don't buy it. Let your cake stick. I don't give a shit. Maybe they won't like that either, huh?
1 cup of flour.
Well, them.
Oh, actually.
There.
What?
What? I said them.
Actually sift the flour.
Suckers, we don't need their negativity.
Language, please.
Language.
You know those flour sifter things? We do have one, actually.
Yeah, I got a flour sifter right down there. Well, don't you have that one with the little handle on it?
Yes, we do.
I'm exhausted. Yeah, exactly. So they want cake flour sifted.
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
not necessary, but
well, why don't
Are
you
you-
go tell Cake Boss that?
look the sifter.
Ah,
And your hand starts hurting because you have
Really?
to do this so many times. See?
yeah. Even the Cake Boss has trouble getting through wedding cakes, and they've been doing it for decades. He'd never made a cake in his entire life that was anything other than like a little sheet cake or a little couple of round layer things slapped on top of each other with didn't even have frosting. I tell you what, I'll sift some flour for you. You start cutting parchment.
I don't like this.
Well, you're making a mess.
I know.
And I need some more butter for my pan.
You use all the butter already? I
would
think I'm going to do 2 recipes at once. Because then
Really?
we can, yeah.
Well, you're running around like a dizzy cockroach. That's what they say in Brazil, as opposed to chicken with its head cut off. I've never seen anybody that doesn't like frosting on a cake.
Frosting is just extra fat. It doesn't even taste good. Anyhow, I'm going to make a double recipe here.
Really? You're going to go double? 5 teaspoons of baking powder. See, we can get all this on so that people can see it. Hopefully you're going to mix that up in there.
5. Half of a teaspoon of salt.
See, I think you needed a bigger bowl to do this.
You sound worried.
I mean, I've been concerned all along about this recipe.
I know, but I will prove you wrong.
I hope you do. It's this beautiful, elegant, multi-layered wedding cake.
4 cups of sugar. So 1.
You know, when I cook,
I love baking.
When
I
I
love
cook,
baking
I just
more
throw
than-
things together. I'm not even a recipe follower. I'll look at a recipe and say, okay,
No, I follow
that's what
the
it's going to
recipe.
have, and then I kind of make my own version of it.
Because
he-
if it's wrong, if it's, the results are wrong, it's not my fault. It's the recipe, whoever makes the
You
recipe.
see, now that's the truth. He needs someone to blame. In the best situation, with the most trained person would take, well, at least a couple of days.
It did take a couple of days. It didn't take more than 2.
Well, did you see what it looked like?
So we mix it until it's light and fluffy and creamy. And
Yes, you want it creamy.
Yeah, see how it's kind of light and creamy? Butter and sugar, do you want to try a little bit?
I know, could you scream?
No leaking.
Oh, for God's sakes. Did you put vanilla in that?
Not yet.
It needs vanilla.
I'm not there yet.
I don't know where you are, but it needs vanilla.
So 4 eggs. Sounded
I
like
think you're stressed out over this cake.
No, I'm
and you're
not.
taking it out on me.
No,
That's
the
what
cake?
you're doing.
No, I'm not stressed out of the cake.
Yes,
The
you are.
cake-
You're a complete stress case. You
Fine,
can deny
I-
it all you want. I'm used to working with people who deny things. This is like boring me to death. And you know what? If you were just icing the cake, it wouldn't matter either. Just put more icing on the imperfections.
3 teaspoons of vanilla. Where is my teaspoon? Oh, here. I found. Don't worry. This is going to be the most beautiful cake
I can tell you one thing. This is
you've ever
this is
seen.
tedious.
So now you mix the vanilla and the eggs to the butter and sugar, cream. So we add now the flour and the milk.
The organic Strauss's milk. He does this all the time. He forgets ingredients. He forgets he put something in, so he
And
adds more.
creative.
Creative. But what are you doing over here? Get that book out of here. You can just see we put the pan down just because the pan is so deep. and we just notch it out. So then we can set the parchment down in it. Especially this small, deep one. You could just cram it in on the bigger one. Just when you got the bigger one, you cram it in. But the smaller one needs to be a little more. It's crazy making. Here, I think you've gotten ahead of yourself.
No, I
Here,
haven't.
you need a scraper?
Everything is under control. So the texture of the cake flour, it feels like a cornstarch.
And why?
I don't know,
Because it has a much lower protein content.
Yeah, whatever. But
You know, I mean, part of it is the insanity that happens and goes on.
and we do give them all the ingredients.
And as an update, we're going to try to make this cake in the next couple of days.
We are going to make this cake in a
And
in a
she
couple
really
of days.
should have said it takes days to make this. While
don't
you're
know.
mixing, why don't you go get your sugar cube? Oh, look at that.
I know you want to lick it. He's a licker, as you can tell.
Oh, look at that's only one batch. Don't let that drip all over the counter. Mmm. Mmm.
You already licked everything. You're gonna.
Don't worry about it. Just get it in the oven. Come on. Get it in. Lower rack, please.
30 to 35 minutes.
Really?
Or until wooden peak inserted in. Wait.
Okay, I'm just going to go 28 minutes,
Okay.
and then we'll do the
have-
wooden peak.
I have a new little.
A double batch only filled one of those
No,
pans.
no, we are not using a wooden peak this time.
Now what? What is? It's from Wilton. It's a Wilton.
I will read for you.
Yeah, thank you, because I don't have my glasses on.
Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's the water brush.
Oh.
No, forget it.
He was going to pour a quarter cup because the little measuring spoons, he has little measuring cups that look like measuring spoons, and he had a quarter cup of vanilla poured right in there instead of 2 tablespoons.
Oh, here, a cake tester.
My mama always used a wooden toothpick, or sometimes she used a butter knife.
And the principle here
And it
is
worked for mama.
prettiness.
So what is that? You just
just stick that-
pierce the cake, and
You pierce the cake,
if it comes out clean, it's
it
done?
comes out clean, and then it's nicer than a toothpick.
That's right. Spitting is okay. Everyone spits.
So isn't that cool?
It's very cool.
We don't use toothpicks
Here,
anymore.
why don't you, here, let's just put it away, please, before you hurt yourself with it. Here, no. Now see what's happened? Now it's all over the place. Now give it back to me so I can place it where it's supposed to go. Here, turn. Look at that.
I know, and that's perfect. Okay, let's do another batch. Start
Yeah,
from
let's.
6 cups of flour.
Should I make us up some scallops?
Really?
We could have some scallops and watercress sandwiches.
This sounds delicious. Oh, those are Brazilian peppers. You wanna
Yeah, well, I
talk
don't care
about
what
it?
they are. They're in the way.
So being Brazilian, of course I
Of
bring
course.
to
That's how could everyone knows you are. We hear it 20 times a day.
of course I bring to the table a
A
different.
sense of superiority for I don't know why. Oh, and did you see our little honey pot?
that we got for Christmas. I know, isn't that cute?
Now there's no honey in the honey pot, but
It's not for honey. 5 teaspoons of. Did we?
I told you needed to buy more baking soda at Clabber Girl. Did you buy it? You didn't, did you?
I think
Did you?
I think we're going to run out of baking powder.
I told you that you needed more Clabber Girl.
Well, I think you were right.
And I told him days ago. You see what happens? Now I've got to go to the store. I was trying to avoid this too. So I guess there won't be any scallops for the crew or anybody because there's no time now. Now, is there anything else that you didn't buy that you were supposed to buy days ago? Because I'm not going to the store a second time. Now, why are you getting the Irish butter out?
Because I need butter.
That's Irish butter.
So,
That's special butter.
special cake, special occasion, special table setting, special butter.
And of course, I knew this was going to happen to me.
No, it doesn't always happen. It's
Yeah, it
just,
does. You're completely unprepared. And it's typical. I don't see any notes that you've taken or anything.
I don't need notes. I have the recipe.
Of course you don't. You didn't need notes to get the rest of the baking powder either, did you?
Not ingredients. It's only one little thing.
It's like not one little thing. Try making the cakes without it. And I told you that the cake was going to be problematic at best. Told him 3 times. You know, this is something that happens. You go and you forget an ingredient. But when someone's told you about it repeatedly, do you still forget the ingredient? Do you?
So it seems like we run out of baking powder.
And I even talked to him. I was standing in that pantry while he was in the grocery store. So it was 4 times he heard about this baking powder.
And Dr. Berry is going to the store to get me some.
I'll buy 3 or 4 of them because my time is more valuable to me.
He's a little upset about it.
The one thing I really, 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 really hate doing is redoing something.
But you know, what are helpers for anyways?
This costs $2 and something cents. I'd rather have 10 of these and throw 3 away, 5 away. I like to do it one time than to spend the hours to go to the store, do it well, one time only, and then move on.
But he's really upset because he has to go to the store now, but anyhow.
And what we're doing today now is repeating because of his lack of organization.
In the meantime, I stay here baking the rest of the cake.
Well, how much is your time worth? $2.49 an hour? Don't think so. He's so scatterbrained and disorganized, it's amazing anything ever turns out.
Hopefully, he'll come back soon.
If you work at McDonald's, it's worth more than that. I did. I told the people. Didn't I tell you all? And this is what he wanted to buy instead. He wanted to buy boxes of cake mix and mix them up. And that's not how he's going to make the cake. Can you drive slower, please? And then you get these passive-aggressive ones, too. Once they know you're in a hurry, they slow down more. Oh, it smells like cake. Now what do we have? Now we won't run out.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so what have you done since I left? Something, I hope?
The cake is taking a little longer than expected.
Duh.
The cake is ready. Hello?
Yes.
The cake is ready.
Okay.
One of them. Look how beautiful. Well.
Yeah, I think I'd take it right out of that hot pan, put it on a cooling rack. That's what I would do.
Don't worry about it. How are you going to prepare the scallops?
Well, don't worry about it. And what I do with my scallops is I use a combination of oils, just a little bit of olive and add the canola oil with it. And so you mix the 2 of them and then you raise the burn temperature of the olive oil, but that way you get a little bit of flavor in there.
While you do that, I am going to hollow out this.
Did you talk about the sugar cube at all?
Sugar cube.
On how you made it? Did you discuss any of it?
First of all, you get a little box like that.
I think they need the ingredients precisely.
You cut the size of the box and open it like I did.
So you did 2 cups of sugar to 1 tablespoon of water. Is that what you did?
To make the sugar mold, you need 1 tablespoon of cold water and 1 cup of granulated sugar. So you mix it with your hands, make a little paste, and then you get a box. In this case, it's a 3.5-inch box. And you cut the sides and open the box like that. Then the same thing you do with the lid, which I have here. Here you have the lid and you open up the sides and then you get rubber bands, put around the lid and close it back together. The same thing we do with the box. And then you pack the sugar, the moist sugar inside the box.
Pack the sugar.
Pack, and then level with a knife or a spatula and let it dry for 24 hours. You remove the rubber bands and kind of pull apart the sides of the box. So what we're really making is like a big sugar cube. And now I'm going to demonstrate what we do, what the next step is. Oh my God!
Fit right in there, didn't they?
Yeah, they do.
Isn't that amazing?
So I don't need to wait anymore. I just
No.
put them both. So let's go and get it done.
Well, each batch is different, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and I decided to make it thicker because it's taking forever.
Thicker, yeah, make it thicker. Now what happened to the butter dish with that stick of butter I put over here?
I used it.
I put it on the butter dish 2 hours ago because I plan ahead and I wanted it softened to room temperature so that I could use it and make toast. So you took it.
I used it. You didn't say anything.
but it was on a butter dish, which apparently means nothing to you.
So baking wedding cake takes a little.
It's no wonder there's a 50% divorce rate.
Well, every relationship is to work, even if it's
Yeah,
a
I
relationship.
know, even if it's one with someone who's almost perfect.
Even if it's a relationship with a cake. Dr. Berry decided to make some coffee now, even though it's not part of the recipe, but
We needed a little bump today. Oh, here, should we just use some of this sugar? Wait a minute, wait, is it a lot lighter now? Look at that. Could you just,
the camera is
let me see how heavy it is.
It's much lighter now.
Oh, now it's not going to go all the way down through your cake.
Oh, look at,
Like,
can you,
oh, speaking of cake. Oh.
how is it doing? Why?
This looks like, I haven't touched a thing, but this looks like a souffle that went bad. It just kind of collapsed inside of itself. Like, how about something like, you know, when you get a marathon runner before they get in those last couple
Well,
of
just
miles
say
and they
collapse.
kind of implode
Everybody-
instead, so I don't go off and get into some sort of trouble. I haven't touched any of them. How come you haven't touched your coffee?
Because I'm busy.
Did you put anything
Oh, don't break it.
to moisten?
Yeah, water, see? Maybe you should put your
No, I'm
back.
not going to touch it because if it breaks, that's the end of me.
You make good coffee. And so does that coffee maker.
This
No
Krupp's
drip.
coffee maker, somebody was nice enough to get this for us. It never, ever drips. Ever. It makes a beautiful cup of coffee.
It takes 5 tablespoons of meringue powder. which
Of
we
what?
have. Meringue. Meringue.
You mean murine, like as in mice? Murine?
No, I mean
M-U-R-I-N-E?
meringue, like a meringue.
Oh. It means meringue.
M-E-R-I-N-G-U-E.
Yes. Oh my God, can you imagine? I walked right in and there it was.
Anyhow, okay.
And he
5
means
tablespoons of
meringue
meringue powder.
powder.
Or 2
okay.
room temperature egg white. Half a cup minus 2 tablespoons of water. Half a teaspoon of cream of tartar. A few drops of colorless flavoring. In this case, I'm going to use vanilla. It's good for an off-white color. And a pound of confectioner's sugar.
Oh, I'll just go back and get that. I've never heard of this. I think it's a local sugar person family called Western Family. Now I'm kind of, everyone knows what I prefer because this is what Mama used. I mean, how long maybe you should do this at some other time.
No, we need to make now because we need to move forward on foreign pudding.
Well, you're not moving very forward, so